Good morning, viewers, and permit me to come into your social media this morning because we have a big election in Kumewu. Now, when you see me wearing this shirt, which I wore 3 years ago for the election 2020, then you know that we are talking about elections. What's happening today? By this time, as you're watching me, people have started voting in Kumewu already, and they'll be voting in all of these towns. So they are voting in Obomen, they are voting in Oyoko, they are voting in Traso, they are voting in Kumewu itself, which is the biggest town in the constituency, and therefore the constituency is named after it. And then they are voting in Bodomase, and they are also voting in Adom-Otchere. All of these voting places is occurring in Kumewu. But we are here to give you a basis to follow the story, and you can follow it on every media that you want, but we will prefer you to follow it with us. To follow it with us, we'll give you more information. So we are starting right now, isn't it? Now, let's go straight to the old results. You know, we always like to do our analysis in the historical way. So why has Kumewu become so important today? We will tell you. It's a safe seat for MPP, isn't it? It's an Ashanti seat. But why is it so important in a by-election? Why is the NDC very confident that they can get something out of Kumewu? Maybe they will not win, but they are very confident they can get something out of Kumewu, and I'll show you why. And they are rightly so. They can be confident because of the analysis I'm going to share with you. Now let's go straight to the touch screen, and here we are. So this is the presidential elections in Kumewu in 2016 and 2020. It's not complicated because it's an MPP stronghold. So the presidential is not very necessary, but we just look at it. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, 81% on 22,000 in 2016. John Dramani Mahama, 17% on 4,907. Then you have here in 2020, Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo on 23,502, 80%, 81% in 2016, 80% in 2020. Not a significant difference in the parliamentary, and President Mahama, 17% in 2016 and 18% in 2020. That's not complicated, but for the records, we just want to show you. Now let's go to what is complicated. What is complicated is here. So this is the 2016. Look at 2016, and then I'll switch to 2020. This is very important. Okay, so here is 2016. NPP's Philip Baswa, now dead, may he rest in eternal peace. And he got 21,794. That's 78%. You remember in 2016, Akufo-Addo was getting 81%, and he's getting 78%, which is okay. Emmanuel Amuakun, who is the NDC candidate, gets 5,021%, very similar to what President Mahama gets. So 2016 also does not present a real complicated story. Where the complication is where I'm going to next right now. All right, so this is it. Parliamentary elections for 2020. NPP's Philip Baswa gets 14,960. He gets 51%. So that's the story. Now, he's moving from 81% in 2016. Now, check out your screen, you see it. He's now on 61%. He's moving from 81% to 51%. And that's what he gets in 2016 and 2020. I'm going to show you why. And this is the beginning of why the NDC is confident that later today they just might get something from Kumewu. They may not get the victory, but I know what they're looking for. And they can get what they're looking for. Let's see how that comes out. Then there is Bernard Mafo, who is the NDC candidate. Now I'm jumping over the independent to go to him. He gets 2,000. So the NDC's results is reducing from 5,000 in 2016 to 2,000 in 2020. Now, what is the story behind that? Now, we have already finding out in Kumewu that the story behind that is that when Kumewu By-Elections, who was an independent candidate, he's an MPP person, he went to the primaries against Baswa. He believed that the executives wanted Baswa, and so Baswa won the elections. And he lost the elections, and he decided, very similar to the Formina situation, and it's important that I'm mentioning Formina and the second deputy speaker, so that you can understand what is happening in terms of how Kumewu By-Elections is campaigning, the campaign that is concerning the MPP, and the campaign that the NDC is supporting is the campaign of the independent candidate. Nothing to do with the NDC candidate. The NDC is supporting the independent candidate because they are hoping that the independent candidate can take the seat away from the MPP because it's an MPP stronghold and the independent candidate is MPP. And I'll show you why they are doing that. Kumewu By-Elections gets 11,698, forming 39% of the votes in 2020. And so the MPP's lead in the parliamentary elections is cut down from 15,895 in 2016 to now in 2020, 3,262. Significant change. But the MPP win the seat anyway. Baswa is now passed. So now this is the story. So, Kumewu By-Elections wins this thing in a way that sort of confuses, but we're going to show you how he won it. He was very popular among the, Kumewu is the biggest place. He was very popular in Kumewu, Kwekudua, the independent candidate. Very concerning to MPP. He was popular in Kumewu, and I'll evidence that, and then I come back to today's election. Let's go and see the polling station. Now, we selected at least 3 polling stations to show you how powerful Kwekudua is in the constitution. So this is 2020's polling station. This is the Chief's Palace. It's interesting that we selected that. This is the polling station at the Kumewu Hennes Palace in Twin. We are showing you how Kwekudua number 1, and you understand that later because there are 2 Kwekuduas we're dealing with. How Kwekudua number 1, the independent candidate, is able to do so well in the Kumewu MPP stronghold and nearly won it. Okay, so here is the Chief's Palace. MPP gets a total number of registered voters is 329. MPP gets 132. NDC gets single 3, independent candidate gets 154. He does better than the MPP candidate at the Chief's Palace polling station 1 at the Chief's Palace. 132 is what MPP gets. Independent candidate is getting 154. Let's see what's next. Chief's Palace polling station, Chief's Palace number 2, registered voters 302. NPP, New Patriotic Party, gets 104. NDC gets 6, and independent candidate gets 141. That's how well he was doing in 2020. This is another polling station. Number of registered voters, 516. NPP gets 79. NDC gets 76. Independent gets 300. In this Violence polling station, where 516 people are registered to vote there, the independent candidate gets 300 of them. NDC and NPP have to share in the 70s. Another polling station, AME Zion registered polling station in Kumewu. Total number of registered voters in 2020, 668. What happens in the election? This is in Kumewu, a stronghold of the MPP, in the heart of Kumewu itself. MPP candidate gets 154. NDC candidate gets 76. Independent gets 249. So the independent candidate is trouncing the MPP in all the key areas. AME, this is Anglican primary, sorry. Number of registered voters, 550. NPP, 161. NDC, 11. Independent, 310. So the independent candidate is winning in most of the Kumewu places, and this is 2020's elections. Anglican JHS, registered voters, 444. NPP, 170. NDC, 9. And independent, 222. So the independent candidate is trouncing the MPP candidate almost everywhere. And that's what happened, and that's what brought the elections to 11,000 and 14,000 or so, with the MPP leading by just 3,000. So this is what is happening. Now, what happens? Mr. Baswa, unfortunately, then passes. So by-election. Kwekudua then get me the photographs of the people. Let me jump to the photographs and talk about them a little bit. I'll come back to the photographs. So this is the MPP candidate. So the by-election occurs, and MPP is selecting their people. Kwekudua here, who is sort of the heir apparent. You can understand what I mean. It's like the heir apparent. He didn't win. He came second. He went to independent. So yes. So Kwekudua is being asked whether he will come in and pick the MPP forms and run the primaries. Some negotiations, some discussions, conversations go on, and in the end, Kwekudua says, I won't pick forms. He didn't pick MPP forms. MPP conduct their primaries, and then they elect this man to be their candidate. He's their man. He's going to be he's on the ballot this morning. He's the MPP candidate. Kwekudua then does the support MPP were suspecting him to do. He picks up a form as independent candidate. He's running as independent candidate again. And listen to his campaign message. And that's why people are talking about government going there to do roads. I hear Sidin Ketia pass some comment that was quite interesting. But this is the story. So he tells us, the people, that look, you are in Kumewu. Look at the deplorable states of your roads. Look at the deplorable this and the deplorable that. Check with Formina what's happening there. Because the Formina guy ran as independent candidate and he won the seat and he became second deputy speaker, and the MPP needed his vote in parliament, they are treating him so well that Formina roads have been done, their street lights have been done, yours hasn't been done. Well, what you need to do is to elect me as the independent candidate. I go to parliament, and the MPP will need me to sit on their side. They have to negotiate with me. In that negotiation, my bargaining chip will be your roads, your water, your electricity, your schools, your hospital. Yeah, the crowd is cheering. So that's how he started his campaign about 2 months ago. And the MPP were worried, and NDC were told that Charlie, the independent candidate is going to win, so let's back him to win. So NDC reduced the conversations. Let's make sure the independent candidates will take the seat away from the MPP people. So MPP have their conversations and see that, look, Mr. Kukudia is coming against them. So they do two things. First thing is to get those roads that, according to what I've seen at Ministry of Transport, were earmarked to start in November. Some of the roads start in November, some in December, some in February. All those roads that have already been earmarked, they went in now and to start to do them. So over 2 months period, it appears that the Kumewu people have seen the improvement of the infrastructure that Kukudia was promising. So then what happens? They go back to the Kumewu people, that's the MPP, and tell them that whatever Kukudia was saying is correct. We don't doubt it. We are not irresponsible. What Kukudia is saying is true. But that's what we have done in 2 months. That's what we are doing. And the people are like, well, maybe. So that is where the thing is now. That's where the conversation is. So this is how it's going to be. Will the people believe the New Patriotic Party, that having started the development that Kukudia was promising, that they will continue and do more for them? If they do, they'll vote for the MPP candidate. If, however, they don't believe what the MPP is saying and they believe what Kukudia is saying, they will vote for Kukudia. So let's see what happens. This is the NDC candidate. Nice guy, handsome guy. This is the MPP candidate, another great guy. Young man, I understand that he's a former banker also. He's the MPP. He's the one they are touting he's going to win. He's the MPP candidate, okay. Now, the MPP did something else. And once we get into the constituency later today and we'll bring you our live reports, we'll tell you. So they decided to find somebody, another person, to compete in the election. And they decided to go to Kukudia's stronghold, wherever his stronghold is, to pick another person from that stronghold, so that person will divide some of Kukudia's votes. Because if the guy is coming from Oyoko family, he's coming from Dua family, Danso family, and another family member is also running the same election, you will anticipate that there will be a division of the votes. Even if it's a quarter, it's good enough. Because what the MPP want to do is to demonstrate that in the by-election, they won it higher than they won the main election. What the NDC and Kukudia want to do is to show the MPP that even if they win this by-election, it was very close, and that's an indication of 2024. And I told you that this by-elections, Kumewu and Asin North, is an indication for Dr. Baumia, John Mahama, Alan Chematin, Kennedy Japan. All those running for office have to demonstrate their capacity in this election. And you will see, as we show you the videos, how many of MPP people have moved there to show their capacity. So that's the issue now. So they went in to find somebody. And they did not find somebody, they did. And the person they found, who is from his stronghold, to compete for the election, guess what his name is? He is also called Kukudia. Fantastic, that's for them. But this is an interesting story. The Electoral Commission has something to say about it, and I'll show you what the Electoral Commission said in a minute. But here is a second Kukudia, much younger he appears, who is also running for the constituency as an independent candidate. Okay, so let's go to the first notice of poll that was published, and then you see how this morning's voting is going to get complicated. So in the first notice of poll that was published, Kukudia number 1, the original, and Kukudia number 2 are all independent candidates, and they are all using a symbol like the dove, sort of. Kukudia number 1 is using a symbol like the dove. Kukudia number 2 is using that symbol. So I was talking about it this afternoon. I was asking that if you have a name, your name is Paul Adom-Otchere, and you go to register as independent candidate, tell there's another Paul Adom-Otchere there. Can the Electoral Commission tell you to change your name? I thought they couldn't, and that's the truth, that's the law. They can't. What they can do, though, is to force you to change your logo. So your logo doesn't look like the other guy's logo. That's what they can force you to do. Let's see how they did it. Electoral Commission issued a statement. They'll put a statement there now, and I'll go through it very quickly, and then we can end here as we are following the elections. So this is a press release from the Electoral Commission, and they said it was opened on 1st May. They said notice of poll, the Kumewu By-Election. The attention of the Electoral Commission has been drawn to a notice of poll circulating on social media purporting to be that of Kumewu By-Election. The notice of poll has photos of 2 independent candidates wearing kente cloth. The said candidates have the symbol of a bird. For the information of the public, both independent candidates presented photographs of themselves in kente and a picture of a bird as their symbol to our district officer in Kumewu. Based on this, a draft notice of poll bearing the photograph of the independent candidates with similar names, attires, and symbols was prepared and submitted to the Commission for approval. It was neither approved by the Commission nor gazetted. A notice of poll becomes legal and binding only after it's gazetted. The version circulating on social media was never gazetted. It was a mere draft reflecting the photographs and symbols presented to the district officer. It says he refused to do so. I'm missing something. District officer, yes, I'm missing something. All right, but he says that Kwekudia II refused to change his logo, causing the commission to apply regulations 14.1b and c to the Public Elections Regulation 2020 CI 127, which states as follows: 14.1. Where an election is contested, the commission shall, as soon as practicable, after the nomination day, allocate to a candidate who is not sponsored by a registered political party a symbol, color, or combination of colors chosen by that candidate. So it says that the Electoral Commission will allocate to the candidate. It goes on. The commission has assigned him the symbol of a hoe, that is the hoe they used to dig, hoe, which is reflected in the notice of poll posted throughout Kumewu. We assure the general public that the commission will not tolerate acts that are at variance with this regulation. Okay, so let's go to the notice of poll, the new one. All right, here it is. So this is what you see. Can you put it on the TV for the viewers to see? Okay, yes, correct. So now, viewers, you see what it is. There's NSDAO-Enim MPP, number 1 on the ballot. Akwesi Amankwa, NDC, 2 on the ballot. Kwekudia, number 1, independent, Dove. Kwekudia, number 2, independent, Eho. So what the Electoral Commission has done is that they have changed the logo because they've told him that the logo that he brought, somebody has already brought it. So that's how it's going to happen, the notice of poll. Let's now go and see a video of what's happening. And I was telling you that everybody has moved there. President Mahama has been there, and Akufo-Addo has been there, but Dr. Bawumia has been there, Alanche Mate has been there. But this part of the story is that in MPP in Kumewu right now, not this one, not this photograph, the video. This part of the story, the MPP people are talking about something. Let's see first Alanche Mate with some NDC people. See this video. Okay, so did you see the video? This is Alanche Mate, and the story is that he was walking around Kumewu and some NDC people saw him, and they were very excited. He's not their candidate, oh. So the people who don't like Alan say that, oh, NDC were excited because they know they can defeat him. That's what they said. But if you look at the video yourself, as you're looking at it, you can see whether it's genuine or it's not genuine. I don't know. But have a look at the video yourself. Okay, so that's Alanche Mate. His supporters are touting him as a very popular candidate, that he's even popular among the opponents. Anyway, let's look at another video now. This time, Alanche Mate is chanting the name of NSDAO-Enim with the supporters, and they are praising Enim. Okay, here it is. All right, so that was Alanche Mate and his supporters chanting, "Oh yeah, 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 Enimbeba." All right, Dr. Bawumia also participated in the dance. Have a look. Dr. Bawumia is dancing. All right, so you saw that that video as well, Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia enjoying the dance. But this is the photograph that everybody is talking about. And if you look at the photograph here, you can put on the screen for the viewers to see. If you look at the photograph here, of course, you can see Samira Bawumia, you can see Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, I believe this is Richard Ahiagba standing in front of him. I'm not sure. He's smiling. Everybody in the photograph is smiling, of course, except the security man. He can't participate. But everybody in the photograph seems to be very excited. Alan Martin in cloth. This would have been at the funeral of Mr. Baswa, not during the campaign. This was at the funeral of Mr. Baswa, which happened, I think, a week ago. Dr. Bawumia shaking hands with Alan. And MPP people, or some people are saying that, could this be the MPP ticket for 2024? Could this be the MPP ticket? The candidate and his running mate. A candidate and his running mate. Could this be the ticket? Okay, that's not for today. Today is Kumewu. So let me leave you, viewers, keep your eye on this page because we will be sharing with you everything in Kumewu. We are here in Kumewu. We'll be coming to you live. But we end with Alan Martin and the MPP supporters. They say then, oh yeah, Enimbeba.